how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right on in. You said that you wanted to do some work on the quadratic equation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have problems in mind that you wanted to go over, or would you like to just review the formula and have me teach like a quick lesson?
Let's review the formula, do a quick lesson.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you then.
Okay.
And let's see here. Share screen. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's start with the formula itself. Do you remember any part of the formula? And it's okay to guess. If you get anything wrong, no worries at all. So do you remember
All
any
right.
parts?
I remember negative b
Good.
plus or minus,
Very good.
which I don't get still. Square root. Yeah. Numbers and letters.
Yes. Well, all right. So I'm glad that you said you don't get the plus or minus. We'll go over that in just a minute. And so I'll go ahead and fill in. You really good so far. So yes, negative b plus or minus b squared
Squared.
minus 4ac.
AC.
And then all of this is over 2a.
2a. Okay.
And in front of all of this, we actually have x equals.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're using this formula to solve for x. Now, do you know what we're solving for? So like, do you know what x represents when we're doing the quadratic equation?
Is it a point on the line?
Close. So when you think of like a quadratic equation and you graph it, what shape does that graph make?
A line?
Not a line. So with quadratics, it means we're working with x squared.
Okay.
Do you know what the shape x squared makes?
A U?
Yes, very good. A U. So if we look on this graph right here, this is just like a rough draft of what the a graph could look like. It makes this U shape, and we have our y-axis, and we have our x-axis. And so when we're solving for x for a quadratic equation, we're specifically solving for where the graph crosses the x-axis right here.
Okay.
So we have a point and a point. So sometimes you get two solutions. The graph might cross at two different points like this.
Okay.
Sometimes you might have a graph that looks like this. This is going to be a little rough right here. And it only crosses the x-axis one time. So you might get one solution. And that's what we're going to be looking at today, one or two solutions. So that's kind of what, this is kind of like what the plus or minus comes into play, is because you're going to get that solution. It's usually a positive or negative solution. But we'll talk a little bit more after we've done a couple of problems. So this is the formula. And I'm going to scroll down a little. 1 second. All right. Need to move this a little. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start by just looking at a problem and doing like an example problem of solving for x. So let's say we're given the problem y equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. So this is the problem we're given, and we're going to use the above formula to solve for x.
Okay.
Okay? So The numbers in front of the x's are going to coincide with a, b, and c. So it's a x squared, bx, c. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So x equals, now I'm going to start plugging things into this formula up here. So x equals negative b. So what number will I put for b?
3.
Right, very good. Plus or minus b squared. So we'll put
9.
Yeah, we could, yeah, if we want to jump right to it. So I'm going to write out 3 squared for now, and then we'll do the math just so we can visually see it. So then we have minus 4a. What would we put for a?
2.
Yeah, very good. So 2 is right here. So 2, and then AC, and our C is?
5.
Right. And is it a positive or negative?
Oh, negative 5, yeah.
Yeah. We put the negative 5 right here. And then it's all over 2 times A.
2. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, move this up. All right, so now from here, I think sometimes that's the hardest part, is just plugging in the numbers properly. A lot of times negatives get dropped off, or we forget to put a negative in front of the B. But from here, we're just now solving the problem. So, okay, so we're gonna write out the negative 3 again, plus or minus. And so we said 3 squared is 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do we have over here? We do negative 4 times 2. We get
negative 8.
And then negative 8 times negative 5.
Would that be plus 40?
Yes. And then all over
4.
All over 4. Okay. So, moving on.
Okay.
We have negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 49 over 4.
Okay.
And what is the square root of 49?
7.
Okay, so negative 3 plus or minus 7 all over 4. So let's come back to the whole plus or minus. So when we have a square root, let's just do something pretty easy. So the square root of 4 is what?
2.
Right. So it's positive 2, but it's also, the square root of 4 is also negative 2, right? Because negative 2 times negative 2 gives you 4. Does that make sense?
If you say so.
No, so let's look at it one more time. So negative 2 times the negative 2 would give us a positive 4, right?
Yes.
So we know that there has, with anytime we do a square root, there has to be 2 solutions. There has to be a positive and there has to be a negative. Both are true. And so that's why we put the plus or minus in front of a square root, is that you have 2 answers. So for the square root of 49, you have 7, because 7 times 7 is 49. And then negative 7 times negative 7 is 49.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, so there's always a positive and negative for a square root answer.
Right. Yes, good. And so once we get it here, we're going to now break it into 2 different problems. So we're going to break up this plus or minus. So we're going to say negative 3 plus 7 over 4. And I'll put a comma. And negative 3 minus 7 over 4. That makes sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll move this right here. And so we're going to finish this problem up. Let's see. Do I just click on that again? Nope. Click on this and this. Okay. So negative 3 plus 7 gives us
Positive 4?
Mm-hmm. So we have positive 4 over 4. So that would equal 4 divided by 4.
1.
Good.
1.
So, yep, good. So first solution is 1. And then negative 3 minus 7.
That'd be negative 10.
Yes. Negative 10 over 4. And then it's a fraction, so we want to simplify the fraction. What would we get if we simplified this fraction?
I would probably divide each number, the numerator and the denominator by 10, or sorry, by 2.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 over 2, negative 5 over 2.
Perfect. Now, negative 5 over 2. So these would be our two solutions. It's also, so you can write it like this in the solution set, or you can also write x equals, because we're solving for x, 1 and negative 5 over 2. And do you remember what x stands for with this problem?
X is where the u touches the x-axis.
Yeah, perfect. So if we wanted to like just kind of sketch it out really quickly. So if I were to put this on a graph, just quick sketch. So here's our x-axis. The first point would be at 1, and then 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, right? So 1, 2, 3. So in between negative 2 and 3, a point would go there. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we put a point like basically right here, and a point right here on the graph, and I'll just sketch it. Just a like idea.
Okay.
And so that's what you're solving for, is these 2 points right here when you're using the quadratic equation.
Gotcha.
Any questions for me on what we just went over?
Not so far.
Okay, perfect. Well, we're gonna stop here for today, and we'll meet back up another day.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed working with you.
Yeah, you too.